Welcome everyone to another episode of the Asylum with Harley and Joker. I'm your host Harley, as always joined by the Joker himself.
Yes, folks, the padded room is ready for your pleasure.
Okay, guys, we are talking about unsolved murders and crimes over the U.S. I have 22 of them.
Jesus.
Well, they're pretty short. Oh, where's the article? We were supposed to do the bracket last night. That's why it's a throw together episode. Okay, so our first one tonight is the murder of Andrew and Abby Borden. We all know who they are. No other murder in the U.S. history has been subject to public fascination for as long as the fatal bouldering of the Bordens. It's almost certain that Lizzie Borden did it. Everyone knows. But still to this day, it's pretty well unsolved because they don't actually have the actual proof she did it.
Well, yeah. You're not going to from that long back. Though
Exactly.
I totally thought you said Gordon at first. So I'm like, who? I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
Borden. The Bordens. Lizzie Borden's parents. Okay. We have, and I've looked up this one before, and I've actually talked about this. It is the Villisky axe murder. One of the most horrific unsolved multiple homicides in American history took place on June 9th in Villisky, Iowa, in what became known as the Villisky axe murders. So a husband and wife and 6 children, ages 5 to 12, were beat to death with an axe. It's still unsolved crime. It involved nearly a decade of investigation that led to certain of Iowa State Investigation Bureau, and they have no clue who did it. They thought wanted the help from a barn or a guy was just passing by, came in and did it.
It was a chopping good time for all.
Exactly. Next one happened in Vermont. Where's one? It is the abduction of 10 people in a wooded area around Glassbergy Mountain in southwest Vermont. Has experienced a number of unexplained disappearances. 5 people vanished between 1945 and 1950, including 53-year-old woman whose body was later discovered as others whose bodies never were. In 1992, author Joe Citroid dubbed the area of disappearance the Beginning Triangle, the Bennington Triangle, and noted that while some people believe the disappearance it's just a cluster of vanishings. That's what they believe.
That's kind of near the part of Vermont I border.
It's kind of creepy. They just disappeared and no bodies, nothing.
Oh, the bodies are
Hello,
there.
Lonnie.
Well, the bodies are just well hidden. What up, Lonnie? Speaking of bodies being hidden, what up, Lonnie?
Next one was.
What the fuck kind of newspaper title is that? Most missing gets man? Jesus Christ. Talk about can't spell for shit.
Well, of course, it was in
Alabama.
It was in Manhattan. That's unusual. So, the disappearance of Judge Joseph F. Carter the 41-year-old, he was a New York Supreme Court justice, vanished on the evening of August 6th after leaving a Midtown Manhattan steakhouse on his way to see a Broadway play because of his role as an arbiter of justice during the probation era in the major U.S. cities. Carter almost certainly had enemies. Of course he did. But neither his body nor any suspects have ever emerged. For a period of time after his high-profile disappearance, the term "pulling a Carter" was used to describe someone leaving a social gathering unannounced.
In New York, it's made up of body parts. I'm
Wow.
from New York. I can say these things.
Lonnie said, "What's up?"
Not much, man. Just chilling.
Okay. Our next one is the the murder of actress Elizabeth Short.
Short.
Yeah, Short. Sorry, I'm tired.
She might have been
Very
shot, but
tired.
doesn't mean that's her
Well,
name.
as with many cases today involving women who are victims of male violence, the horrific murder and dismemberment of 22-year-old aspiring Los Angeles actress focused on Short's loss reputation and history of underage drinking and the way she dressed. Short clothes and earned her the name Black Dahlia because she allegedly preferred sheer black dresses. The name also allured to the 1946 film Blue Dahlia about the murder of an unfaithful wife. No suspect was ever caught, and the case eventually went cold.
You could say she had a short. She lived a short life. What can we say?
Very short.
And there's actually a shitload of good movies based on that. So yeah.
Yeah, she was famous. Okay, our next one is this one.
Good old Bugsy Siegel.
The murder of Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. Okay, the mobster was an instrumental in developing the Los Angeles Vegas Strip, or the Las Vegas Strip. He was gunned down in Beverly Hills on June 20th. It's widely believed mob boss Meyer Lansky ordered the hit because Siegel was spending too much of Lansky's money on developing the Strip's Flamingo Hotel. In 2014, the widow of truck driver Matthew Moose claimed that her late husband in fact murdered him over a love affair Moose was having with the wife of Siegel's best friend and business partner, but the case has yet to be solved. So
Yeah,
love
that's mafia.
affair gone bad.
That's mafia life for you. You end up buried somewhere, and they're never gonna find you.
Exactly. Okay, we got this one. Um, I skipped that one. The abduction of 10 people in Vermont, a wooded area around Lutensburg Mountain in southwestern Vermont, has experience of in, a number of unexplained disappearance by people. Oh no, I won't read that one. See, this is what happens when you're tired. You lose where you are.
Story of my life.
Okay, our next one. It
Jesus Christ,
is
with faces like that.
the murder of barroom Patricia Grimes. Uh,
They
let's
look
see.
like
The
they're Mr.
bodies.
They look like they're Mr. Burns' daughters, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
The bodies of the Chicago sisters, 13 and 15, were found on a county road a month after their disappearance. Investigators initially focused on a local drifter, but he was never formally charged in what could be considered a 1950s version of media clickbait. Journalists exploited the fact that the sisters had gone to see their newly released Elvis Presley film "Love Me Tender" to give the story traction. The the link led to wild speculation that the girl had secret lovers or they ran away to Presley's hometown of Memphis hoping to meet a rock and roll star. As with the viral fad on TikTok, people lost interest and the case went cold. Of course, it went cold.
Interesting.
I'm not surprised these are unsolved. I mean, shit, the Secret Service, the people with the best technologies can't find who brought Coke into the White House. We shouldn't think they could solve these.
It was
Isn't there
Hunter Biden.
another
We all know that.
Elizabeth Smart that was kidnapped? Don't name your kids Elizabeth. That's funny.
It was Hunter Biden. We all know that. He brought Coke in the White House.
Okay, here's our next one. It is the jailbreak at
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. So the famous island, well, we all know who it is. The island is. Okay, so these two brothers and their friend, well, their cellmate escaped from there in 1962 and were never able to be found again.
Fox did a good TV show about it.
Trying to get comfortable because my legs are tired. Okie dokie, let's see. So this one is murder of TV personality Dorothy Killigan. Apparently, she knew too much, and they ruled it as a suicide when they don't really know how she died.
She knew
It
too
says
much.
she
That's how she
died
died.
from a deadly mix of alcohol and barbiturates, adding the circumstances are undetermined, but speculation abound after her death about the circumstances. So they said it was an overdose, which it really wasn't. She just knew too much. That's what happens when you know too much. So it's better not to know anything.
Well, shit, I'm fucked.
Okay. Yes, the Alcatraz breakout. Wasn't it like Prison Break or something?
No, fuck that show. It was a show called it was a show called Alcatraz.
Okay, so our
It
next one.
involved time travel and portals and all that shit.
Jeremy, you should know a little about this one. This is the Zodiac serial
Oh,
killing.
anybody who was just involved in my serial killer movies bracket knows a lot about the Zodiac. We watched We watched a
Mhm.
bunch of movies about him.
So one of the biggest unsolved serial murder cases revolves around the Zodiac killer. So nobody actually knows who it is. They just know 37 people are murdered between the 1960s and 1970s.
You mean MK Ultra, Lonnie? Yeah, trust me, I've looked into it.
Okay. This is our next one. It is hijacking of Northwest Orient Airlines. So One of the most famous heists in history occurred November 24th, 1971, when a man who identified himself as Dan Cooper, also known as DB, um, bought a one-way ticket to Seattle on Northwest Orient Airlines from Portland, Oregon. During the flight, he used a fake suitcase bomb to ransom passengers in return for 200,000 and four parachutes to be delivered to him as the plane was parked on the tarmac in Seattle. He then demanded pilots take him to Mexico City, but somehow between Seattle and Reno, he jumped from the plane with the money. And in 1980, a boy found a package with 5,800 in rotting 20 bills. The current serial number identified the case as part of the ransom, but Cooper was never found. The FBI says the case remains intriguing mystery.
Mm.
So it makes you want to go look around and see if you can find.
Yeah, there was a whole movie about why you shouldn't do that. It was called Without a Paddle.
Okay. So this gentleman he disappeared. This is the disappearance of Union leader Jimmy Hoffa. The infamous
Another example of why you don't piss off the mob.
the infamous Teamster had plenty of enemies considering his mob ties and the fact that he served time for jury tampering, mail fraud, and bribery. But his fate remains one of the most enduring criminal mysteries. Hoffa was last seen in a parking lot of a Michigan restaurant in 1975, and officials declared him dead in 1982, despite never discovering his body. The only evidence was a length of hair matching to his DNA in the back seat of a car. The quest to find Hoffa's remains continued into 2000s when FBI searched unsuccessful beneath a Detroit swimming pool in 2003 and beneath the floorboards of another Motor City property the following year. Why would you look below a swimming pool? I don't understand that. I heard he took off with the Teamsters money. I'm sure he did.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. I mean, who wouldn't really? If you think you can get away with it,
Exactly.
especially back then.
Okay. Our next is mass murder of 8 people. A man, his pregnant wife, and their 2 children, and 4 fishing boat deckhands in a small southwest village of Craig were fatally shot in a boat on September 6th, the worst unsolved multiple homicide in Alaska's history. After the bloodbath, the killer piloted the 58-foot boat to a nearby scheduled bay, waving out a nearby skipper as he departed. For unknown reasons, the killer then returned to the vessel on the following day and torched the craft using gasoline as an accelerator before fleeing the scene in the village. Investigators were only able to determine that the suspect was a white male in his 20s with a pocket-marked complexion.
Mm,
So he went back to the crime to torch the boat.
idiot. You don't go back to
Yeah, why
seeing the
would you?
crime ever.
Exactly. Okay. This is the murder of actor Bob Crane.
Ironically enough, they used the crane to bury him.
Crane is best known for his role as Cole Robert H. Hogan in the 1960s TV sitcom Hogan's Heroes. about a group of American POWs in Nazi Germany. Germany. He's also known to be, well, blah, 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 blah. When he was found dead in Scottsdale, Arizona, apartment from blunt force trauma with electric cord wrapped around his neck. The primary suspect emerged as John Henry Carpenter, an electrician salesman who helped produce the act in Crane's amateur films. But it was never determined he actually did it. You know, people nowadays pay you to wrap things around their neck and choke them.
Well, they did back then too, and that's how a lot of people died, and they just didn't announce it. But I mean,
It makes me think of Shameless when that mail carrier went into the UPS driver went into the bathroom and
yep.
after to get his drink and he tied the belt around his neck and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good old autoerotic fixation. Rob Williams Rob Williams was a good movie about that, where his son died that way.
Okay, so this one I he probably talked too much shit and he was when he was drunk. Yeah, a lot of people do that. So this was the Tylenol poisoning incident of 7 people.
Oh, that's how
I
the
swear that
whole
happened more than once. Like I know this one
no, it
that we're
majorly only
talking
happened.
about.
It majorly only happened the one time, and it started the whole Halloween candy rumor bullshit.
Oh, it happened in 1982. 7 Chicago area people were murdered in the infamous Tylenol poisoning incident. Bottles of the popular pain and fever reliever were spiked with cyanide and returned to store shelves, targeting random people. The poisoning led to the creation of tamper-proof packaging. So, guys, that's how we got the tamper-proof tape on
Cyanide, cyanide, a good Metallica song.
it. And they still don't know who did it, but probably never will. Next one was Isabel Stewart Garden Museum heist. In the heist worthy of crime thriller, unknown men posing as police officers investigating a disturbance at a Boston-based art museum stole works of art by Degas Minute and other masterpieces so renowned that their full names are unnecessary. According to Boston Globe reporter, the value of the paintings could be 500 million or more. And it's unclear who actually took them. You see where the arrows are pointing? Those were where the pictures were.
Hmm.
So I don't know, they like left the frame but took the picture out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you say the name again? No, I'm not going to, Lonnie. Because saying names like that don't sound right with a southern accent. Thank you very much. Okay. The murder of Nicole Brown. Nope, wrong one.
I think you're the wrong picture up then.
Yeah, I went too far. Okay, there we go. This
This ain't
is
no.
the
This is not.
murder.
This is not unsolved. He literally wrote a book. This is how I did it.
Well, it's still okay. They couldn't officially charge him.
It's the goddamn Chewbacca defense.
If the
Wookiees do
glove
not
doesn't
live.
fit, you must acquit.
No, it was a Chewbacca offense. Why would a Wookiee be on Endor? Why would a 7 foot tall Wookiee want to be around these 3 foot tall Ewoks?
Okay. Well, we all know who did it, but
As
they
Aquilio said,
nobody
OJ did
was
it.
ever officially charged with the murder, but we all know who did it.
As a great
Because
rap
he
group
wrote the
said,
book, if I did
I
it, this
forgot
is
how
how
it
I
went.
did.
Uh, as a great rap group, Aquilio once said, OJ did it.
Okay. Now for this little girl. This is the murder of Amber Hangerman. A
Cosby did
9-year-old
it.
girl was abducted while riding her bike in a grocery store parking lot in Arlington, Texas. People discovered her body nearby 5 days later, showing signs of sexual assault, which that's horrible. And what would have been a random tragedy and other soon to be forgotten unsolved abductions and murder, because the case ended up having at least one positive outcome. The case led to the creation of the Amber Alert. So this little girl is the reason we have the Amber Alert.
I blame the parents. Yeah, not
The
watching a
house,
damn kid.
yes, was involved.
Probably.
That's how it always works. Okay, this is John Benet Ramsey. Um, I still think our parents did it.
Oh, they did. They're creepy looking motherfuckers.
Yeah, but they never actually
Ooh,
said
actually,
who did it.
there's a South Park episode about 10 seasons away from where we are that you'd love with that.
Hey, Lonnie, we are doing a South Park bracket next week on the 24th. If you're interested in joining, just hit us up and we can add you because you were fun on the show you were on. Okay, so these last two, there never actually was anyone who was, well, we all know who they are. They're quite famous people and they suspected people, but nobody ever actually was charged. We have Tupac, and they read like they thought they found someone here recently, but they didn't. And
Tup- Tupac
Biggie
ain't dead.
Smalls
Tupac ain't dead. He's in Jamaica.
with Elvis.
No, Elvis went back home.
Okay, maybe, but I'm not a big South Park watcher. I'm not either, but it's just seasons 1 and 2.
We'll get to all
See,
the rest later.
not many people like South.
Yeah, that's why the group I had. That's why the group I had people from had 28,000 members.
We just found
Nope.
bad people who didn't show up.
Literally search South Park groups on fucking Facebook and tell me I'm wrong. It's one.
Well,
There's a
I'm
reason.
sure there is, but
There's a reason it's been on for 25 years.
well, I'm kind of glad we postponed it anyways because I've got to finish watching season 2. So,
Same.
and last night would have been horrible for me to do it because I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning for work, and I was done. Lonnie thinks it's funny. Okay, guys. Well, this is going to be a short episode tonight because we're tired and we're old, and it's just what it is.
It ain't easy being this hung. Come on now. It takes a lot out of you.
Okay, guys. Tune in next week. We'll be better prepared than what we were this week.
Maybe.
We'll
We lie.
we usually talk about a topic and then change it into several different topics, and but that's how we are. If you watch us, you know.
So who did kidnap John Benet Ramsey? Was it Mr. Garrison? Was it Chef? Was it Jimbo? Tune in next week to find out.
The 59, the lineman for the whatever it was team, the football team. I might get it at 4 because the mentor's meteor shower. Well, I get up at 4 normally to go to work.
I
but I'm not
I stay
tomorrow.
Lonnie, I do stay lifted and I am gifted. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, that does it for this episode. Tune in next week for whatever the fuck episode we're doing. I don't know yet. Bye.